Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of this channel. So today I'm going to discuss about we're getting closer to 2030s than 2020s, Because now we only got 3 days until Christmas. And then after that, we only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only got 9 days until, 2026. Because right now, this time has gone by really, really fast. And I even didn't realize it when I usually start looking at the time or looking at the clock to see, oh my god, how this could it be? How could it just be? I feel quite depressed of seeing this because let's understand this, that 2020 is literally 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, I was a high school senior doing this, in midst of this, the global pandemic of COVID-19, which has caused all those, lockdowns and all those, political chaos, economic turmoils, and all those challenges that we have to face in 2020, which easily becomes a bad year. And then, as we, since I already graduated out of, UCR, it's almost felt like yesterday I see, graduate out of, UCR at the University of California, Riverside. Feel like yesterday. And then, the graduating out of, high school, like Rancho Verde High School, it's almost feel like 6 months ago, It's just quite obvious that I don't know what to say when the time went by so fast. I'm just feeling quite, a little depressed of what I see seen. Because we need to understand the reality of this. Because everything you do, whether it's, going to work or even playing video games, the times moves a lot faster. Way faster. That eventually, once you get done doing the stuff, it's already nighttime. And you have to prepare for the next day. All that stuff. It's quite obvious that the world is totally going to change really, really fast. I just couldn't imagine what's going to look like. Probably, like 10, 20, or 30 years from now. Because right now, we only got 1 week until 2026. And then once we get to 2026, we don't just got, let's say, 4 years left. No, we only got 3 years left until 2030s. Because you got 2027, 2028, and 2029. And after that, we enter into 2030s territories. Yeah, I'm telling you. That's some people either didn't know or didn't realize that this has gone way too fast. Here's another example. Back in 2020, we didn't have, generative AI images or videos or even ChatGPTs. But now today, we do have one. But this time, they're even a lot stronger, more advanced, and more intelligent than ever before since it was released in 2022. All that stuff. And this goes to how far this technology has come. It's quite really impressive to see how far we have come. And also, I started to memorizing something that when I was, first, let's say a freshman during my high school years, at something like 2016, which this is like, the first year I attended high school. And my dad told me that 2020 seemed like a long ways to go. And I just said to myself, yeah, it seemed like a long ways ahead. But however, we should never underestimate the time, because time is going to move by really fast without even realizing it. Because sooner or later, 2020 is going to be knocking down the doors real soon. And this is a similar situation that I'm facing right now. Because 2030s may seem like a long ways. But however, we'll be getting closer to 2030s. And eventually, the 2030s are going to start knocking down the door. And this is going to be, the new decade that we're going to be entering for that. And what's even the saddest part of, as we get into 2030s, that I'm going to be in my 30s by now. Well, almost close to my 30s. Because 2031, that's where I'm going to turn 30s. Because the 2030s, in that year, I'll be in my age 29. So, yeah, I feel I'm just getting older a lot sooner. It's quite obvious that the way this world is coming to is not going to stay the same forever. Because Imagine this. What the technology is going to look like and what is the AI is going to look like in let's say 3 years from now. Let's put it like that. 3 years from now, we're going to see that the AI is going to get so powerful, more advanced, that they may have ability or even close to have an ability to generate movies or generating very realistic images. And also, there's going to be an open source where everyone can just, freely generate it whatever they want without any, let's say, using your credits or you have to start paying subscriptions just to use unlimited usage, all that stuff. The open source ones. That's what I'm referring to. But hey, I digress. Who knows what 2030 have in store for us? But we need to understand this for a fact that the 2020 decade is going to officially come to a close a lot sooner. Even though it is 3 years away, it's going to end really soon. Because here's for example, that in the year of 2029, December 31st, it's going to be the last day of the 2020s decades. Because eventually, you're going to be enjoying your every last moment of the 2020 decades. Because you're going to have your last dinner, you're going to have your last sorrow, you're going to have a last time, hang out with your friends, and you're going to have, a last time of, try to enjoy something really fun before the end of the 2020 decades. Because eventually that we're going to end up going to bed at night during the last night of 2029. And then once we get into the next morning, we'll be entering a new decade of the 2030s, January the 1st. And yeah, it's really, really interesting moment that everyone's going to experience this, no matter what. You're going to experience this. Once we get into the December 31st, 2029, you're going to have a different vibe, or different feelings, or a different sense of, I don't know, maybe you're just quite confused, lost, or may not have, directions of where your life should go to. Since that, because 2030s, if you're a Gen Z who is, born in, let's say, the early 2000s, you're going to be in your 30s real soon. I'm telling you right now, you will be in your 30s if you're the Gen Z who was born in the early 2000s. And the people who are born, let's say, the 1990s, you're going to be already close to into your 40s real soon. Millennials going to be in their 50s by now. The people who were born in the 1980s, they're going to be in their age 50s. And while the boomers, most of them will probably, vast majority of them will have already retired. Or even gotten so old that they cannot able to, work or even able to stay, able to live longer enough. And plus the silent generations, they're going to be at their near extinction level since they're already in their hundreds by now. So, yeah, this goes so that things happens really fast. And this is the reason why that you have to enjoy every last moment of your life in this 2020s decades, because eventually those 2020 decades will be gone a lot sooner as you may think. And there's no going back. There's no turning around, because this is your chance to do something. This is your chance to make a difference and try to get your life in order so you can prepare yourself into the future. Because the 2020s is not going to be around for you. They don't stay around. They will be leaving behind. Eventually, you're going to have to be ready to saying goodbye to your final decades of the 2020s. And then you're going to have to say hello to the 2030s. Because that is what we're heading towards. And I know this is quite, as harsh as it sounds and really, really quite sad. But we need to face it. This is a new reality that everyone must face. So for all that I've been said, so I want to say, so feel free to comment, leave a like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also feel free to ask questions. Any questions that you want to ask. Even it's quite, a silly question. So yeah, for all that been said, so I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. So for that, I will probably see you later. And goodbye.